Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah, it's all perfect.
Fab, okay. So what I'm going to do, if it's okay, obviously I'm recording this.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking I might do is pop the whole thing up online as an audio file.
Yeah, fantastic.
If you're happy with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I don't sort of tend to do formal questions. I just like to have a chat and kind of see where it goes. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
Okay. I will just kick off by saying, obviously, you're on tour at the moment, for anyone that doesn't know. I shouldn't imagine there isn't anyone that doesn't know, but how's it going? Because you're kind of in the middle of it, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going really, really well. It's sort of been going on for the last couple of weeks. I started at the end of, midway through January.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a couple of really cool festivals that were good fun, and then doing some solo shows. And I've got a couple more weeks of that, and then I can have a little break and then go back on the road again in April. So that's going to be fun.
Awesome. And how was London? Because, I wasn't there and I'd like to have been.
Do you want me to say it was terrible? It was really bad.
Sorry.
It wasn't. It was really good.
Good.
No, we just had a really great time, and it was a really good crowd and everything. So it was good fun.
Yeah, I've never been to the 100 Club. I've tried to get there so many times. It's just not meant to be.
It's fantastic. It's such an iconic place.
Mm.
It's one of. I think it's got so much history with it, and when you look on the walls at the photographs and stuff of the people that played there, it just makes you appreciate it and go, "Wow, this is pretty cool."
Every time we go into the place that used to be the Marquee, it's now a Wetherspoons, I can't remember the name of it now. You just sort of, because I went there a couple of times when it was the Marquee, and you just look round and you think, oh God, such a shame. But I need to get to the 100 Club to see all those pictures that you're talking about and stuff.
Yeah, they're fascinating. They're so cool.
So what's been your favourite place to play so far, audience-wise?
Ooh, well, we do it once a year, and I always look forward to it. It's a place called the Apex in Bury St Edmunds.
Oh, yeah.
And I completely just love it there. It's such a cool venue, and the crowd are always amazing, and everybody who works there is just lovely as well, so it's a really nice place to be.
Okay, so that's a bit of a nasty question, actually, isn't it? Because I don't suppose really any venue is better than another, but
I don't know.
Everyone has favourites. Everyone has favourites.
Yeah. I think it's always that thing of, when everything comes together and works really well on one night, you just go, this is, I remember why I do this now, it's wonderful, woo! And that's kind of that sort of place where the sound's amazing and the crew there are fantastic. It's a perfect loading, so it's not really hard for a million stairs. And it's just really good, and it's just such a cool venue. It's brilliant.
And do you see a lot of the same sort of faces at gigs? Do you have people that follow you round, or is it? Yeah,
we're really lucky in that. We've got some lovely fans, and there's some that there's a guy that comes from Essex, and he comes to most of the gigs. So
oh wow,
I reckon there's only maybe I don't think there's many that he's missed. He's fantastic. We really appreciate them sort of people that want to keep coming again. So
that's pretty awesome though. But I mean, you're picking up a lot of new fans along the way, but I guess it must be nice. It must be comforting in a way to sort of see those people night after night.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of say to them, you're not bored. Do you really want to see this again? But they just really enjoy it, and it's like a social thing for them as well, because a lot of my fans, because they're all such lovely people, have made friends with other fans. So now they'll travel together, or they'll, meet each other there for a drink or something like that, which is really lovely. So yeah, it's kind of nice.
That is nice. That's how you get to make new friends, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, I've made so many new friends just following bands around and seeing new bands and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
The music family. So how do you sort of, on stage night after night, how do you prepare yourself mentally for that? Because you do put your heart and soul into each gig, don't you? I mean, I've seen you a few times now, and you always give it 110%. But so how do you prepare for that mentally, and how do you feel when you've finished a gig?
Lots of caffeine, I think. A lot of coffee and Red Bull, but I'm banning Red Bull now, so I can't have that anymore. I don't know, you just get into a thing where, you turn up, you do your sound check, you go for something to eat, and it becomes not a routine, because that sounds sort of bad, but it just becomes a thing that you do, and you don't kind of, have this, you see all these pop stars like, I don't know, Lady Gaga or whoever, and they've got this thing backstage where they all have this chant and this hug and whatever, and it's like, it's not like that in real life. Realistically, you run into the toilet because you need to get your dress on and there's no room in the dressing room. Or the band are in there and they're guys, so you've got to try and get changed somewhere private, and it's you just literally don't have time for running around in chants and hugs and all this sort of thing. But mentally you don't really prepare yourself, you just kind of get on with it.
And how do you keep yourself going? Because obviously, you must find that a bit of a toll night after night. You mentioned when I said I might not be able to come on Friday, it was like, well, you don't want to get another bug because the last one took you so long to get over. I mean, how do you keep yourself healthy and still going?
Struggle. Really struggle. I really don't shake bugs easily. I'm a bit of a nightmare with that. So, like the last one, like I was saying to you, it took forever and ever and ever. I got it was like the start of October. I got a cold, which went straight into a chest infection because I have asthma. And then within a week, it was like full on chest infection, and I had a lung infection as well in my left lung. So that was dodgy. Yeah. So they put me on steroids and antibiotics, which didn't touch it. And then it was like, well, what shall I do? So I went on tour in Germany, and I coughed the whole way through the tour. It was really bad. And then a German doctor prescribed me some super duper strong, they were like horse antibiotics or something, I think. Anyway, I didn't take them because I thought, well, if I really need them, then I'll really take them. But I don't, I can manage. Anyway, then I went on holiday to Spain and it cleared up. So, however, I don't know how that works, but it took from the start of October to mid-December to clear it. So that was a pain. Well, the problem is because you meet so many people, and you're shaking hands with people, you're using microphones. I always use my own microphone because it's like other people have got bugs, and you can't really risk it,
Yeah.
But you try and minimise things and use a lot of hand wash. There's a lot of antibacterial hand gels. It's okay.
Yeah, I know all about germs. So you've had 2 albums out, both of which were kind of different to each other in style, not massively, but there was a marked kind of progression there on the second album. Yeah. So do you have favourite songs when you're playing live?
I do, yeah. I mean, there's one new song that we've been doing that's going to go on the next album called April, which is just an instrumental, but it's really progressive, and I really enjoy playing that because we push it every time and try and do things a little bit different every time. So that's good fun. What else? I think most of the songs off the last album I really enjoy playing because they mean a lot to me, and because they were all sort of written by me, they're very personal.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything off the last album really.
Are you sort of going to go in a different direction again with the next album?
I think it's going to be even darker. I know the last one was pretty dark, but the next one, it's what I've written so far. It's quite personal and dark. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. See if anybody buys it and likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading your bio today, and you're kind of you've got that dark thing going on, haven't you? What is it you call it? I can't remember what you called it now. Something gothic.
Oh, Southern Gothic.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I'm really into like Southern Gothic film and literature and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I kind of put a lot of that into my music. But I've always been into like horror films and stuff like that. So maybe I'm just a bit weird. I don't know.
Well, no, I quite like horror films too. What's your favourite horror film, if you had to choose one?
Oh, I've got so many. I really there's a film, and I don't think it did very well. I think it's on Netflix, but it didn't do very well, I don't think, called The Skeleton Key. It's like a really creepy thing, but it's a lot about like voodoo and stuff like that. It's a bit twisty.
I might have to look that one up. I've not seen that.
It is good. It's a bit spooky, but it's good.
Do you like sort of the traditional like thriller type things as well, like the psychological rather than the gore?
Yeah, I prefer them actually. I'm not a massive fan of like really grim, gory stuff.
No.
Like films like Saw and things like that. I can't deal with that because I just don't like too much blood and guts.
No.
But no, I do like the twisty, spooky, twisty kind of thing.
Do you like The Shining?
Do you know? I've got a story about that. When we were on tour in November in Germany, I had a couple of days off, so I thought, German Netflix, that's got different things onto English Netflix. And it had The Shining on, and I'd never seen it, and I thought, I'm going to watch that. And then I thought about it and thought, hang on, I'm in a hotel with a really long corridor. I'm right at the end, away from everybody, and it's so creepy and old is this hotel. Why am I doing this? I was in Hamburg, and it was in the creepiest, oldest, weird hotel ever. And it was like, why am I doing this to myself? What an idiot. And anyway, I watched it, and there were no red rum or anything like that, so I was fine. I survived.
Did you enjoy it though?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great film, isn't it?
It is amazing, but I think I must have some sort of like masochism or something going on to watch these weird films like that.
Yeah, just occasionally you come across one that you haven't ever seen. It's like an older one, and it'll be really good. And then you watch like a modern, gory sort of.
Oh, they're not a patch on it.
They're not. Yeah. They're not, are they? No. I think we get a little bit immune to the gore as well.
You do. I mean, I watch quite a lot of criminal things on TV, stuff like Criminal Minds and stuff like that. And it becomes a bit like, well, that's what you expect of it. And then you think about it and think, God, that's a bit weird, isn't it? I hope I'm not spooky and weird myself,
There's nothing spooky and weird about that. No. Not much, anyway. So, did you say that you're writing at the moment for album number 3?
I am, yeah. Yeah, working on album 3 now.
So, do you write when you're on tour as well?
I try to. I did actually this time, because I needed to get some songs written, so it was like I must force myself to do this. But normally it's really tricky, because if we're on tour and we don't have many days off, it's like the days off that you've got, you just want to rest and sleep and chill, and in your mind you kind of want to go out and see the city that you're staying in, but in your head you're thinking, hang on a minute, this is a bit daft, I need to chill out and not go and drink loads of alcohol in Hamburg and play pool all night, But yeah, so I do try if I can to write a bit on tour, but it is tricky. And plus, if you're playing all the time and you're touring all the time and travelling all the time, you just kind of want to rest a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I suppose otherwise you're in danger of burning out, aren't you?
Exactly, yeah. So to me it is kind of important to, look after yourself a little bit as well. It's you do get trapped in that thing of, right, well, I'm travelling every day, like 7 hours a day or whatever, and sound checking at 4, and then hopefully getting a little bit of sleep, and I might get 3 hours sleep a night before I've got to be up for breakfast and travel again. And you get into this routine of doing that, and it kind of becomes okay because your body gets used to it.
Yeah.
But then you think, once you sort of come home and you flop and you go, blooming heck, I've survived on 3 or 4 hours sleep a night.
Yeah.
How am I functioning?
That's quite hardcore. 3 hours sleep. I don't think I could do that.
No, well, we did a lot of nights where it was like we'd do a gig and then we'd kind of hang out with the people at the bar or whatever, in the venue. And then you end up going to bed at 4 o'clock and you've not realised it's 4 o'clock. And then you've got to be up at 7 for breakfast because you're travelling to Czech Republic the next day. You think, why did I do that? That was a really silly thing to do. But
you mentioned there that obviously you hang around and you chat to people, and I've seen you're really sociable, you'll chat, you'll, sign stuff and chat about music and everything. Mm-hmm. Do you engage pretty well on social media as well? So do you do all that yourself, or have you got someone else helping you with that, or...
I wish. No, I do it all myself.
Do you?
It's,
How do you find time for it, though?
I don't know. Well, I'm sat on the loo, I think. One of those things of, literally I can be sat on the loo doing messages back to people that have asked a question, or what's happening with this gig, or what time's the stage times, and you've got to literally fit it in when you can. So in the supermarket, I'll be walking around answering these messages, and Dad's like, come on, we need to get this, and this, and I'm like, I just need to do this, just give me 5 minutes. And everything takes about 3 hours longer than it should take, because you're trying to multitask doing Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
But, you've got to do it. It's, I think it's so important for, for artists nowadays to be interactive with the fans.
Definitely.
And, do that whole social media thing and give them an insight into your world, I suppose, really.
Well, social media is a massive time stealer at the best of times, but I can't imagine the amount of messages and stuff you must get. And that,
there's so many. There's just so many.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I can just waste an hour sitting here and looking at one thing, so I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
It's just endless, and it's the difficult thing as well, because I do try and get back to people, but I just can't get back to everybody.
Yeah.
And then I feel really guilty about it, and it's really bad, and then that eats me up, and I get all churned up about that, and it's really tricky. But I get so many messages every day, and some of them are immediate response things where it's like, I'm coming to your gig tonight, what time are you on stage, because I need to book a taxi.
Yeah.
And you have to to reply to it because, you know, they come into the gig, you have to get back to them. And then, you know, some of them it's just like, well, I'm going to have to just prioritise actually having a shower now and not doing well, things like that. And then you've got so many other things to do that you kind of forget about it and you go, oh God, I forgot about this message.
Oh,
so I don't know. Being blonde doesn't help.
Oh, steady on there, steady on. So, do you ever get any celebrity fans at your gigs?
I've had some, yeah. There's a fabulous lady called Elkie Brooks.
Ooh.
She's been to my gigs and she's lovely and she spoke about me in the newspaper and stuff like that. So she's a lovely fan. Who else? I'm trying to think. Can't think.
Well, I do recall bumping into a certain singer from Inglorious back in, I think it was November last year, October last year.
Oh, is that the acoustic gig?
Yeah, that was really good. Really good.
Yeah, Nathan's been as well. He's lovely, bless him. And what a
band.
He
is very nice. Oh, they are, aren't they?
Such a cool band.
Yeah, I was late to the party with them, but now I just think they're amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I first saw them, it was at, I think it was the Planet Rock Festival, the Winter's End thing.
Oh, yeah.
Last year. And I'd never seen them, and I was just like, this band are amazing. And because my bass player had seen them up near where we live. And I was like, oh, I've got to see them. And I did, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this band is so crazy good.
Yeah, they really are.
So I've seen them, I think it was Nottingham I went to see them a few months ago, and that was great. But yeah, they're all just lovely and they're really, really great. They're so good.
Well, that's where I saw them for the first time. That's where I saw you for the first time as well.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was good 3 days that was. It was amazing.
It was fabulous, yeah.
I'm going to the one this year, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, yeah.
Oh, I'm missing out.
Yeah, you won't be there this time. What a shame.
No, I know.
Let me ask you something slightly different. Actually, it's not slightly different at all. If you could choose to collaborate with anyone, and not alive or dead, because I hate it when people say that, because, you know, anyone that you could work with who's alive, anyone in the world, whether it's a producer, whether it's a fellow musician or a singer or anyone, who would you choose and why?
Right. Oh, I've got so many.
Well, you can choose more than one if you want to.
Oh, good. I can be greedy then.
Yeah.
I'd love to play guitar for Lady Gaga because I think that she's just so cool. Except she's not touring at the moment, obviously, again. I'd love to play for her because she's just amazing and she's just so experimental with some things that you just think, imagine putting that with like some heavy guitar stuff, it just sounds so good. So there's that. There's, who else? I thought of loads of people then when you asked me, now I just forgot. Oh, I'm right. Lady Gaga.
Well, should we come back to that one?
Don't
think of it as who you'd like to work with. Think of it maybe as who you would invite to your dinner party and maybe get some guitars and vocals out afterwards.
Oh, there'd be so many.
Yeah.
Maybe Dave Grohl as well. Just because
good choice.
He's such a talented person.
Yeah.
You know, his writing's so good and his drumming and his guitar playing and singing, everything is just amazing. So probably him. I can't think of anybody else. I had loads in my head a minute ago. It's gone out of the other ear, I think.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I would just like to say, obviously, Dave Grohl is allegedly a very nice person too.
That's the other reason why I'd like to work with him, because he comes across as really nice. So,
he's so grounded, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, it might all be a big act, but I very much doubt it. I don't think anybody could maintain that.
No, I think he comes across as a really nice guy. He's the sort of guy that you'd go for a pint with and, you know, chat about music and have a laugh with. He seems really cool.
Well, maybe if you think of anyone else, just, you know, shout it out randomly. And find that people are dismissive of you because of your gender.
Yeah. I mean, I've said about it a lot of times before, and it's always funny because we did this. I did a thing for Sky TV, Sky News, a few months ago because they were wanting somebody to talk about women in the music industry and talking about this guitar that's been made specifically for women by a music man, Sir St. Vincent, and they wanted me to talk about it, so I played a bit and chatted, and they were like, you know, have you experienced sexism, blah blah blah, and it was like, well, yeah, I have. You know, I have walked in music shops and they've asked me what a plectrum is. And, you know, I still do get to venues and they ask who's in the band because they don't think that, you know, they've not looked at the poster and gone, oh yeah, she's a girl.
Oh,
you know, they just go, well, am I the groupie? Am I the roadie? What am I? And you still do get that, and it is a pain in the bum, and you just kind of go, oh, whatever, get on with it,
Yeah.
And I brush it off, and I don't let it stress me out, because you can't let things like that bug you. You've just got to go, well, get over it, But it still does happen, and it still is really annoying, and it's the thing that really proved it to me was when I did the Sky thing. And it went on the Sky News Facebook page and everything, and it got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably up to thousands of comments from men going, well, we don't think there's any sexism in music, and the fact that she's a girl is the only reason she's on there, and, she's moaning about something that doesn't exist. And it's like, well done, you've just proved that it does. Nice one, mate.
Oh, my goodness.
That was really annoying, and all the guys that were there like, well, she's only there because she's a girl, and it's like, well, no, I'm there because I work my bum off and try to be good at what I do.
God, it's so irritating, isn't it? It's just...
It really is,
yeah.
But that's life, and you've just got to kind of put up with it, I suppose.
Well, it's even worse because you actually play so much better than a lot of guys out there as well, and that's, it's just... That whole thing of when you rock up somewhere and they look at you and they don't even know that you're who you are, it's like, that's ridiculous.
It's just daft, but it's just what it is, isn't it, I've learnt to brush it off, because if you don't, it just drives you bonkers, and you get so angry about it, so it's just easy to go, I don't care.
So you've got your own, record company, Tis Rock Music.
I have, yeah.
Is that your vehicle to allow you to be an independent musician, or is that something that in time is going to grow and you're going to have other talent and artists on it, or how do you see that progressing? Why did you set it up?
Well, I set it up initially because it meant that I could have my own artistic freedom, I could work with who I wanted to work with, I could put out the albums, and just basically for that, really, so that I could do my own thing and then look at other options for licensing or distribution deals or whatever else with other record labels. But other people have said, would you consider signing other people? Bands have said, would you take my demo and would you consider signing me? And it's like, well, I don't, at the moment, no. Because I just don't have time, and there's not enough hours in a day to help anybody else as well as myself, know. But it is something that maybe further down the line, as I get a bit older, then, you don't know what's going to happen in the future, and there might come a time when I can't tour anymore or whatever, and then you go, well, yeah, okay, that would be something I might look at, maybe. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing to have, I think, isn't it? Because you can do so much with that, and it's yours. So
absolutely, yeah.
You can go where you like with it.
Yeah, and I think that thing of having artistic freedom as well is so important to me, because, every album that I've produced, well, I've only done 2, but put out so far, they're very different, and the third one probably will be very different again. And, to say, well, you can put out something that's your own thing, and you've not got somebody saying, well, actually, no, you can't release that because it's not, it's not the same as your last one or whatever.
Yeah.
It's good to have that freedom, I think. I think the thing is with bands as well nowadays, there is not really that need to get signed, because... No. You can go out and do it yourself, and you can distribute yourself, and you can promote yourself, and all this sort of thing. So I think the only advantage to being signed is if it's somebody that can get you to new fans. If it's a case of signing with somebody because they've got whatever band on their record label, and you can get support off of them, then great. But other than that, there's not that many advantages anymore to being signed.
No, there are still so many record companies out there.
Yeah.
You kind of ask yourself, really,
why?
Yeah, let's move away from that.
Yeah.
So, do you have any festivals planned for the summer that you can talk about, obviously?
No, I think I've got a couple of little bluesy things, but not really that much this year. It's a bit, I don't know why we've not booked them this year, but apart from going on holiday, which is slap bang in the middle of it, so that might be why.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is you can go on holiday, but then you can't do the festivals because you're in a different country. So it's that priority thing.
Yeah. What's been your... I'm back into question mode now, sorry. What has been your biggest highlight so far, if you had to pick just one thing?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure, because I've done some really lovely things that I've really enjoyed. So it's always difficult to say what the best one is, because at the time that's the best one, if you know what I mean. Because it's fun, or it's exciting, or it's something that's, special. I met Stevie Nicks. That was probably a big highlight for me.
Wow, yeah.
Because she's just like my idol. And I've loved Fleetwood Mac and everything about them since I was so young. So I think that was probably the biggest, most exciting, crazy thing that I've ever done and been so giddy about.
And do you are you like the rest of us when you meet your idols? Are you a bit fangirl, or are you nice and cool, or?
No, I play it really cool.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm really bad. I'm just like, oh yeah, well, it's so nice to meet you,
And then do you walk around the corner and just go, ah?
I did that time. The first time I met Stevie Nicks, because I've met her twice, and the first time it was just like, I went in and we just chatted really normally about normal things. Crazy normal things, because my dad, this is a bit of a daft story, but I went out, I've been down in London for a week or 2 weeks or something, and got the train back up, or the bus back up, I think it was. And I was like, right, I've sat on a bus for like 6 hours. I need a beer. I need to go out. Come on, we're going to a brewery night. So me and Dad got on a bus, as you do when you've just sat on a bus all day. Got a bus to our local brewery, which is about probably 40 minutes away, and went to have a few beers. Naturally, I am the most clumsiest person in the universe. So I, coming out of the pub, missed the bus, said, right, quick, we better run for the train then. Ran for the train. I fell over a curb, pulled my dad's arm. He fell over me and broke his nose.
Oh no!
so his nose was bleeding everywhere. He had 2 black eyes, and it was just like, oh my goodness, what have I done? I was unscathed. It was hilarious. Anyway, this was on the Friday. The Monday we were going to see Fleetwood Mac and meeting Stevie Nicks and Lindsay Buckingham and all these people, and he looked like he'd been in a mega fight. So a friend who sadly passed away now that took us in, he explained to Stevie, well, he's not been in a fight, he just fell over Chantel. So she was like saying to my dad, you really need to put some cream on your nose, and that she falls over her dogs and stuff like that. So it was just really lovely, and she's just so normal and nice, and we were comparing our height as well, because I'm exactly the same height as her, which is quite weird. We just got along really well, and it was just really normal. And then when I got out to the car, I was like, oh my god, I met Stevie Nicks.
Do you ever wish that you're going great guns with the music, and obviously you're clearly having a good time as well, which is absolutely vital and important. That's the point of doing it.
Definitely,
but if you weren't doing it since you were younger and you did music school and all of that, so that's what you've always wanted to do. But what do you think you were doing if you weren't doing music?
Probably a funeral director.
Well, it suits the dark thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I know it sounds so weird, but the thing is, I'm quite good with people, so it's like, I've just been looking after my grandma today, because she's just come out of hospital. So she's all at home and bedridden, and nurses coming in 4 times a day and all this sort of thing. So I've been up there this morning with her, trying to help her and stuff like that. And so I'm having to like get her out of bed, because she only weighs 5 stone now. So I'm like trying to lift her out of bed and do all this stuff and change the bed in and all that.
Yeah.
And my grandma's there like, oh, you'd be a really good nurse. And I'm like, no, I would not. I certainly would not be a good nurse. I definitely won't be one of them.
Maybe
a funeral director, I just think that whole thing of, dealing with people that are maybe having a really tricky situation, but, need to talk about it and need either that or a psychologist.
I think a psychologist would be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be burdensome, but interesting.
Yeah. I think I'd be really into that, because I like that whole psychology thing, and I like reading books about it as well. Maybe I'm just a bit geeky, I don't know.
Well, that's not a bad way to be, I don't think, in this day and age.
It's something different and interesting anyway.
Better to be geeky and have lots of interests and do lots of things than be vacuous and not really,
Yeah, and be bored.
Yeah. Okay, well, I've probably taken up far too much of your time.
No, it's okay, it's fine.
Let me ask, there are so many people out there these days that want to be a musician, or that want to be in a band, or want to do this, want to do that. And a lot of people just can't hack it. They'll just you know, they don't get anywhere. They try it for 6 months and they just give up, or they put an album out. You know, they don't get massive gratification straight away, and then they're like, oh, well, nobody wants to listen to us, we're going to give up. So obviously, aside from working hard, which we know that you do, and we know that everybody who's successful does, do you have any other advice for bands that are either starting out or those that are thinking, well, do you know what, this is taking too long, this is not for us?
I think as soon as you start thinking, I've done it for 6 months and I'm not famous yet, then you need to go and get a different job. Basically.
Yeah, people do. There are people out there that are like, I can't be bothered.
I've met so many of them. And it's literally like, you know, they'll be in a band for 6 months and go, well, it's not got anywhere yet, so I'm going to jump ship from that band and go do that again with another band that doesn't get anywhere for 6 months. And it's just like, you can't do that. You have to dedicate your entire life to it, 24/7. And, you know, whether that's writing, whether it's answering social media, dealing with emails, doing press, sending posters out, every little bit of it you've got to do. And if you're not prepared to do that, and it is more so, you know, it's more about the business than the music as well, which I think everybody forgets. You know, I'd just love to be able to just say, right, well, I'm just going to write today, I'm not going to do anything else, I'm just going to write, and if I get something, great, if I don't, then it doesn't matter. But that's not how it is, and it's, you know, it's so far from that, it's unbelievable. You know, it's literally like, well, actually today now I've got to do all the press, and I've got to do all the emailing newspapers and radio and everything for the next 4 months of gigs, and I've got to get the posters out and the flyers out, and I've got to print them, and I've got to, you know, all these little bits that if you're not prepared to do, nobody else is going to do them for you.
No.
And then you don't make any progress, and then you go, well, I've not got anywhere in 6 months, so I'm going to quit. So unless you're prepared to dedicate your entire life to it and not have a life, basically, then don't do it.
So, is your dad like your? Because he always goes with you, doesn't he? I mean, he was with you when we saw you back at the acoustic gig. Does he travel everywhere with you?
Yeah, he drives the van.
Does he? Oh.
I can't get insured on the van, so
okay.
It's, as a musician, it's a real pain getting insured on vans.
Oh right, okay.
Because I think they expect you to be out drinking loads, and you know, it's really not like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can't. They won't even quote me for insurance on the van.
Oh.
So it's kind of stuck with Dad driving it, and but he enjoys it. It's better than working in an office, so he enjoys it.
It sounds like you've got a really strong bond with him as well, which is great.
I have, yeah. He's both my parents. We're best friends, really. You know, I'll go out for a beer with Dad. It's just how we are. We're a close family, which is good.
Well, don't ever lose that. That's invaluable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. That brings my interview to a conclusion.
Thank you so much, Vikkie.
I very much appreciate you taking the time, and I'm sorry it's taken so long.
No, don't worry, it's wonderful.
Yeah, good luck with the rest of the tour.
Awesome, thank you very much. And if you want to come to any of the gigs, just let me know and I'll put you on guest list.
Oh, that's really kind of you, thank you.
That's okay. Yeah, fantastic,
right.
Wonderful.
Okay, take care.
Take care, Vikkie,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.